before we go hunting tonight, I set up a few more mock scrapes up here in Hulk Jr.'s territory, trying to get a better understanding of them. I got a hanging vine here, and I'm gonna add a little buck and doe urine. Get that freshened right up. This is the doe, and then I'll add a little buck, and I'm gonna get a camera up on that tree. I just got another mock scrape put together with a cell cam on it, so you can get some real-time data here. Well, I'm back in the stump 4. This is where Monty hunted yesterday evening, and he saw that 3.5-year-old 9-point that came out here and ran all those other little bucks all over the place and ate on the winter wheat and oats that I have planted here in this first food plot. He ended up seeing 6 or 7 different bucks. Tonight, I'm still looking. I'm really here to shoot. I want to get rid of some of these big does. These does have been surprisingly pretty hard to come across. They're mostly feeding at night, you know, not coming out till like dark. There's been a lot of bucks out, a lot of buck activity out here, but the big does have been waiting till after it gets dark to come out. So I'm hoping that, you know, they slip up here one of these nights and I can let them have it. I've got the 10-point crossbow with me tonight, and if one of them big mature does gives me a shot, I'm gonna let her have it. But that heavy 9, the really old buck, he's been spending a decent amount of time in these plots in the middle of the night, early in the morning too, this week. So I know he's in the area. I doubt he's going to come out or show himself, and I'm not even sure at this point that I would shoot him, knowing that, you know, I've got a deer like Hulk not running around but available to hunt. So that's a decision I would make. At the time, I had to make the decision, but he'd be a fun deer to see nonetheless. He's the oldest deer on the road by far. I mean, he's an ancient deer that can track back for years, so it would be really cool just to lay eyes on him. But we're gonna sit here and overlook the food plots and enjoy the evening. I'll bring you guys along with me, so whenever we see anything, I'll show you. I also wanted to mention too that they're having some pretty crazy deals on Tideweed's website right now. If you get on there, you can find stuff that's like 40, 50, even 60% off. And if you add my code KEO18 or KEO20 to it, you'll get an additional 18 or 20% off. So it's really pretty wild. I mean, you can get stuff for a total of 75% off in some cases. It's just mind-boggling. But they've got really good gear. I've been wearing it for years. Super happy with it. So if you guys are in need of anything, feel free to check it out. I think that I covered everything. Oh, earlier today I went and I moved a tree stand for Hulk Jr. and I made a few new mock scrapes for him as well, using the Wyoming County Whitetail buck and doe urine. We had an east wind, and we had quite a bit of wind cover midday, so I took advantage of that and got in there and did a little bit of, a little bit of scouting right on the edge, and I moved a stand based on some of his movement last year during daylight when he was a 4.5-year-old. I went back and looked at all my pictures or trail cam videos of him from last year and the year before, and I was starting to make connections as to dates and times when he was up and moving around in the areas that he was at the time he was moving during daylight. And I was able to put together a little bit of a puzzle where I had a few days aligned where he was daylight on the same day 2 years in a row in the same area. And that's information that's huge to know, because they tend to, not always, but I've seen deer tend to do the same things each year around the same time. So I'm just kind of putting together the puzzle on him a little bit, and getting excited to really get in there and get after him here once we have the right conditions. We need a cold front, an east wind or a north wind, and we're going to be all over that deer. But until then, let's whack a few doe here off the hidey hole plot. Well, we just had our first deer come out at 5:30. Appears to be a little spike. I can't tell if it's the notch ear spike that we always see, or yep, it looks like it. There's a right notch, or a notch in its right ear. That deer lives here and never leaves, I don't think. A couple more deer coming out from the left side. That looks like the big doe we want right there. Oh no, it's a spike too. Jeez. There's so many little bucks back here. That's a good thing. Looking back that way a little bit. That spike keeps looking back in the corner like there's something else coming out. Yep, here comes another little buck. That's 3 little bucks we've seen already. It's pretty early. ears were pinned back. I bet that other little buck is right over there. So, yep, right there. That spike right there is tiny. And you can barely even see points between its ears there. Just had a couple of fawns come out, and then another deer came out in the back. That is another little buck that's different from the other three, so that's the fourth one. That deer looks like Blackie's son or something. Offspring to Blackie. He's got a lot of dark coloring to him, especially on his face.
that's gonna do it on this evening's hunt. It ended up being pretty incredible. I saw 8 different bucks that I know of for a fact. Tons of spikes, 4 points and 6 points, and then about 40 minutes before dark, here came a buck that I'm going to refer to as Popeye. Somebody commented on the video when he went by me through the fence gap, and he has the blind left eye, and he's like, the good name for him would be Popeye. And I'm like, I agree, Popeye it is. It's a beautiful 2.5-year-old 8-point. Beautiful long tines, just a nice frame. It's going to be a really special deer to watch grow, hopefully. Hopefully he sticks right to that creek bottom and hangs tight there like he's been doing. But I did have a doe and 2 fawns that came behind me right at dark. Didn't get close, it was too dark by the time they got close enough to me, but saw a ton of deer. It's pretty incredible to think like how much our property has evolved down there over the years. Like now it's nothing to go down there every night and have a 2 or 3-year-old buck, you know, walk right by or feed out in the food plot, which is really pretty incredible compared to what, you know, it used to be. You know, all it took was a little determination, an excavator, chainsaw, a lot of time and effort, and you can create kind of your own deer oasis, really. You know, each year I try to improve it down there, and it's pretty incredible to see what it's done over the past 5 years. You know, never in my life could you go down there and just expect to see a 3-year-old buck every time you hunted, or a 2-year-old. And now it's like, if you don't see one, it's like, man, rough night. But anyways, it was fun. We'll be back after him tomorrow, and we'll bring that to you as well. Have a good one. Did Knox see any big bucks from the house tonight?
I don't know about bucks. We saw some deer on our walk.
Did ya?
He was sleeping though.
You didn't wake him up to show him the deer?
He didn't care about the deer. Huh, you were snuggled in.